Atomic Habits, book summary, let's do it! Atomic Habits, Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results is written by James Clear. He's a New York Times best-selling author, entrepreneur, and photographer, and he heads up the Habits Academy, which is currently helping over 5,000 people in building better habits to a more remarkable life. So it seems that James clearly knows what he's doing. All right, we'll cut the cheese. The book's premise being, how do we understand and embrace habits in order to take control of aspects of our lives, whether it's from financial all the way to health. So here are the 5 big ideas that I pulled from James's latest. Now, winners and losers, they both have goals. The only difference between them is the systems they use to achieve those goals. Take, for instance, Michael the friggin' fish Phelps. At least that's what I call him. He's the most decorated Olympian alive with 28 medals in competitive swimming. How does he do it? Well, you guessed it, through habit formation. So he made it a habit to keep on practicing until he could nail down every type of stroke, every type of technique to really give him that edge. You may feel restricted at first, but what is actually happening is you're developing a system so that you don't have to think. You just do. And the thinking and the humming and hawing, going back and forth of whether you should be doing something is what restricts you. So in the long term, you're wasting more time preventing yourself from ever achieving those goals that you set out for yourself. So the first idea, habit formation takes time, but it earns you more time in the end. Would this happen between you and a friend? Hey. We should hang out sometime. For sure, let's do it. Okay, bye. Bye. Sure, if you two weren't really friends, you wouldn't really care. But that's exactly what a lot of us do. We set ourselves up with these goals and expectations, but the how and the when isn't there. Now, going back to that friend example, if you really meant it, you would set an actual day, time, and a place to make it happen. So if you're serious about your goals, you need to be specific. So if you're losing 30 pounds, try this. I will lose 30 pounds by going to the gym down the street every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 a.m. Big idea number 2, make habits prescriptive. This way you can really cement and have yourself know exactly what you need to do instead of just leaving it out there in the ether and the wind, willy-nilly. Speaking of the gym, I promised myself that I'd try to get over to one of them, but I don't know if you feel the same way. It's just tough to bring myself there sometimes. Could be cold, might be too far, I might not be feeling it might be too busy. I essentially become the mayor of Excuse City. Yeah, self-elected. James mentions this quick hack called the 2-minute rule. So the example is I may say, okay, get to the gym, do at least 2 minutes of weights or 2 minutes of cardio. And since I'm there already, let's spend another 2 minutes on something else, right? Let's make use of the time that we're here. The idea is to make the habit accessible so that you can just dip your toes in there, and eventually over time, you're gonna feel like you wanna do it a little bit more because you're either used to it or you feel like you need to develop that efficiency to keep on going. Big idea number 3, just show up. What's your guilty pleasure? I'll admit it, mine is YouTube. So many good dog videos on there. Jeez. James challenges you to take that guilty pleasure and combine it with something that you need to do, that you've been procrastinating or that you've been just avoiding trying to do altogether. Example, I love YouTube, but I hate washing the dishes. So why not combine them both? Develop a little bit of a habit stack where every time you need to wash the dishes and you don't want to, you can give yourself that guilty pleasure to associate that hard task and just get her done. And that makes habits easy and attractive. Alternatively, if there's a habit that you want to break, a bad one, then you can flip the script and make a bad habit unattractive. For instance, if you're as addicted to the internet as I am, why not try unplugging your Wi-Fi until you get your task done and then go back on, or ask a friend to change the password and tell them until you finish XYZ, they cannot give you access. And that comes to the fourth idea, make habits easy and attractive. So if you have to take something that you don't want to do, make it attractive by adding that guilty pleasure. Or if it's a bad habit you're trying to break, add friction. Make it hard for you to even try to do the bad habit. Just try. And now for Jerry friggin' Seinfeld. You may know Jerry from his hit comedy show Seinfeld, or the host of the Netflix series Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. And he attributes his success to just making good habits. In one of his interviews, the interviewer asked, Jerry, how do you get so friggin' funny? And Jerry replies back by saying, well, he commits to himself in writing one joke per day. It's the act of doing that finally makes that good joke, that makes that successful one-liner or that great story. So he'd specifically block out time in a day to write. So no matter how bad the material was, he just wrote. And he called it never breaking the chain. Every day that he would write a joke, he would mark off that day on his calendar. And over time, you'd be able to see a streak. And there you have it. You get into that groove where you just simply don't want to break that streak. You don't want to break the chain. So the fifth big idea is about showing progress. Never break the chain. And that's Atomic Habits for you. James Clear, thank you so much for writing this book. As for you, thank you so much for tuning in to a brief book club summary. I really appreciate it. My name is Truman. Let me know, what did I miss? If you've read the book, what tips would you share with all these other viewers? If you haven't read the book, lay down your questions in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to give you the insight. But other than that, please lay down some of these. We really appreciate the support. Follow us and subscribe. Thanks for sticking around. We'll see you in the next video.